It's 11:01 a.m., September 23rd, Tuesday, and we're going to call the Community Development Committee meeting to order. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll for us?
Mr. Bailey?
Present.
Mr. Brennan?
Present.
Ms. Herbert?
Here. Next, we have the approval of the minutes. This would be for June 3rd, 2025 and August 19th, 2025. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
All right, and unanimously approved by the three of us.
Aye.
And now we get to the excitement, committee discussion. First thing on our agenda, number 2, Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, which is the CAPER, for fiscal year 2024, 2025, Ms. Felicia Kilgore. And so this would be the year that we just finished up.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so this actually falls within the consolidated plan of 2020 and 2024. So this is our last year. Yes, in this consolidated plan. And so we're ready to move forward and report. I refer to as our report, our annual report to HUD to show how we have utilized our federal dollars. This is also a grading opportunity for HUD to review how we have managed and expended those dollars in comparison to what we have slated in our consolidated plan and action plan, checks and balances. And so as a part of this process that we present to HUD, we also go through comment periods, public comment sessions that we allow the local residents to come, and we provide our accomplishments towards our goals and allow them to chime in and provide feedback as relates to that as well. And so we're just finalized or wrapped up our 30-day public comment. It ended on September 19th. We had our first public hearing at the Busby Street Community Center on the 11th, 6 o'clock in the evening. And now we're having our public forum with the committee, Community Development Committee members. And so we're here today.
Is there any type of notice requirement or something for the public forum?
So we have actually put out that notification
Okay.
in regards to that.
But just to clarify, it's not a public hearing.
I'm sorry,
To clarify, it's not a public hearing.
Not a public hearing, public forum.
public forum, right,
Okay, but it's not required to be a hearing. It can just be a forum.
yes.
Okay.
Yes. So want to share with everyone our funding sources and the dollars that we receive for 2024. And so with our CDBG, you notice that our revenue, which includes our annual entitlement dollars, as well as our program income, which also supports us with our revolving loan fund, we receive a little over $3 million, and also shows what we have expended, a little over $2 million in reference to our activities and programs. For our home investment partnership dollars, we receive, of course, our annual entitlement, which is a little over several $700,000, which incorporates our program income for our home projects. And it shows what we have actually allocated. If you'll notice that we've allocated more than we have projected as revenue, simply because we have funds from previous years that we have programmed to support two major projects, and we'll share that in
Ms. Felicia, I'm
just a
sorry.
moment.
Is that a page that we have or is that
Yes, ma'am, that is
combined?
on,
Next page.
it is in your packet right here, which is the report, and it is on page 4. It's 3 and 4. Page 3 and 4.
Thank you, okay.
3 and 4. And so if you notice on page 3, our entitlement, what we receive as our entitlement as well as program income for our CDBG program, for our home investment partnership dollars, and then also for HOPWA. So HOPWA, we actually received $1.8 million for this past fiscal year. We did have a little left over from the previous year, and so we actually have allocated those dollars and expended them. And then over to the right-hand side on the PowerPoint presentation, which is on page 4 of your packet, we have outlined our congressional grant dollars that we've received in previous years. These are one-time allocation for a specific purpose. CDBG mitigation, our MIT program, we received $18.5 million. The activities that we have those dollars set aside for is to support us with our Olympia Fire Station. And we're in the process of going through the procurement now, as well as our canal head gates. And so we're also moving forward to the procurement process with our head gates as well, the replacement of the head gates. We have completed one project with the mitigation program. We've completed the fleet service generator, so it's completed, and so it's operating now.
I do have a question too with respect to the Olympia Fire Station. What was the allocation for that?
So the budget amount is approximately 12 million
For the entire project?
for
I
the fire
know
station.
that you all don't have 12 million, right?
Well, we
So
don't have enough funds to cover the fire station and the head gates. But we do have enough to cover the fire station, but not enough to cover both activities. And so a portion of those funds, or the remaining of those dollars that would be needed to complete both activities is gonna come from capital improvement.
Okay, so just the fire station alone, what's that cost?
Approximately 12 million.
12. Okay, and then how much do you all have to go towards that?
So we have left over approximately, I wanna say 15, maybe a little bit more.
Okay.
That we still have left over to spend towards the two activities. Okay, so moving to our disaster recovery program, we have actually closed it out. We submitted our closeout notification to HUD in July. And so we're now waiting to hear further from HUD in regards to what is needed from the City of Columbia to finalize that process. So all activities, all funds have been expended. For our home ARP, we're in the process of selecting, hopefully, a project. We did put out a NOFA a few months ago for applications to be received for those dollars. So we're in the process of still reviewing those applications. Based on how we place those, the NOFA out, the type of project we were seeking, we didn't get any strong applications for those. And so
You did or did
we
not?
did not. And so we're still vetting and reviewing those applications. And so we'll be discussing further whether we can proceed with the application that we have, or we have to put it back out again and make a modification on how we are, what type of projects that we're gonna seek to utilize those dollars.
And I'm assuming that's for multifamily.
So the home ARP is set aside to assist a population that are experiencing homelessness, or individuals that are fleeing from domestic violence, or individuals who are experiencing excessive housing cost burden. So based on how we were instructed when we received those dollars in our action plan that we submitted to HUD, it is designed, we have it designed to support to prevent homelessness and support homelessness.
So
And
would
non-financial.
Rapid Shelter be a viable applicant?
So the Rapid Shelter is a department of the city, and so we are to work with nonprofit organizations
Exterior,
Mhm.
okay.
All righty. Okay, so, our CDBG CV, we are, on the downside, I would say.
I'm sorry, let us know CVs,
Oh.
for those who don't
Is
know.
the coronavirus, is the one-time allocation that we received back in 2020, I believe, is when those dollars were received. We have, a few projects that we're working on, with those funds. We are supporting the food share with the purchase of a, food truck delivery, truck to assist in delivering food to.
The organization food
Yes.
share, that's pretty cool.
And so we provided, funds to help them with that, so, which is pretty outstanding. They're going to have a, press conference, so to speak, that will promote, that particular activity in partnership with the city of Columbia. So as soon as we get the date, and time, we'll certainly share it, and we'd love to have you all there to participate. And then also, we are assisting Parks and Recreation with, some major improvements with many of their bathrooms to make them more hands-free, touchless.
Yes, and I, as a person who frequents the parks, I just gonna ask a question since we have Parks and Rec here. Because, I have had people to ask, will there be any, like, cause we're making it paperless.
Mm-hmm.
Some old school folks are like, but are there some paper towels anywhere? I'm just throwing it out there. It wasn't me, but there were some folks that I saw that were still wondering if that option would be available. But I understand. Yes, is the answer. Okay, thank you.
So we're working, we're assisting Drew, Hyatt Park, T.S. Martin, just to name a few, with those, improvements with the bathrooms. So we expect those funds to be expended, in the next few months. Okay. So this is just a, brief highlight on, the importance of our HUD federal dollars. And so we have, you see here that we have $5.8 million that we have put out into the city of Columbia to assist the residents with not only housing, but many of the economic development improvements. And then you also will see the impact of those dollars, where we leverage up to 11.9, almost $12 million, utilizing private, state, and local other federal funds.
Any examples come to mind of the private dollars? To me, it's always good when we can show how we can use the federal dollars to bring in private money.
So I know I'm thinking of home now, but home, particularly with,
The developer.
Homeless No More. We allocated $1.3 million towards their particular, project that they have going up on Edgewood Village. And so the total, the projected total cost for that project there is about $6 million. And so that's one example that I
I
can
like it.
use.
I like it.
Okay, so just a few more highlights that we've had. This past fiscal year, we celebrated the community development 50-year anniversary. We were established 1 year after the city became an approved participation grantee up under the CDBG HUD program. And of course, if you notice, the previous year, we celebrated CDBG 50th anniversary. And so the city community development was established a year after that. And so we had a listing of activities planned for that week, for Community Development Week. And then also, our famous Love Your Block program. We assisted 18 neighborhoods, dispersing about $29,000. And of course, the much needed, we have applications coming over every day for the Customer Assistance Program, ICAP program.
Wow.
Yeah, to assist residents who are having difficulties paying their water and sewer. expenses.
So we've been able to help 878. That's pretty good. And the Love Your Block grant, is it slated for 25, 26?
It is. I will say we'll have a little less income, dollars to support. Instead of the 30,000, we'll have 15,000. So we'll still have some assistance for that program.
And the funding, so you use program income to fund that?
So actually, the Love Your Block is coming from our general funds. Yeah, our general fund dollars.
If you need income from the city, this less. When you said income, I was thinking program income, but you mean what we allocated.
Yeah. That is exactly right. And so we've got an application that's been received already for Love Your Block. And so we're in the process of reviewing those once the deadline has passed. We'll review them all together. Some additional highlights I'd like to add, that we have assisted about 85 neighborhoods, communities, supported the neighborhood presidents and meeting their needs to keep the neighbors informed, improve their communities. We provided over 10,000 flyers to assist the communities. And then, of course, we had 7 neighborhood sweeps. And so we coordinate that with Public Works as well as some other development services to set aside a time, generally once a month, for a particular neighborhood. And we designate a week to concentrate on that particular neighborhood, to go in and see what needs to be done to clean it up.
How do you prioritize the neighborhoods?
So we kind of rotated in each district so that we are touching many of those communities. Charmaine is instrumental in helping determine which neighborhoods selected, but we certainly rotated so that many of them are touched. And we also look at code cases that are, that is received through code enforcement. They also provide some guidance to us in selecting the communities.
I've actually had a constituent to ask for one.
Really?
Well, we did it, but yeah, they were like, I think y'all need to come and do a sweep. I said, oh,
Good.
yes, ma'am.
Good. And we've done it already?
Mhm.
Okay, excellent,
We did.
excellent. So we definitely want to keep that in place. I think it's instrumental. We've had our all access training. What's wrong, Councilman Bailey?
He's fine.
Okay. So with our all access training, we do have those workshops that we constantly plan and invite the residents for some empowerment training. And so we had some financial literacy, and we incorporated one of our partners that have been working with us for quite some time, Mr. Antonio Lynch. He with Operation Hope. And so he's been very instrumental in assisting us with many of those financial literacy sessions.
Tell us a little bit more about Operation Hope. I'm not familiar with that.
So Operation Hope, I know Antonio, he worked with BB&T. He also had worked with Wells Fargo. And so he joined this organization. I can't remember who's the owner, who's the president of it. But they had partnered with us, when I was a loan officer. And we did some workshops together at that time. And, but I know they've been in business for quite some time, at least 10 years, I know for sure. And they just conduct various workshops. They partner up with, some banks that to assist them with the financial literacy sessions. Okay, just a brief highlight of our housing loan program. This is in 24 fiscal year. You'll see our numbers improve this upcoming fiscal year. We've added a new loan officer with well over 20 years of experience. And so she has really improved our numbers and are closing many.
And she told me
And she
that
told
much
you.
as well.
That's right. So we're excited about that.
She did.
But just to highlight what we did this past fiscal year, we did close one CDBG loan by City Lender 1 and then City Lender 2, which is our affordable housing loan program where we fund the entire piece. We closed a number, 8 of those. And then our City Lender 2, which is generally our easiest loan to close. Those are for individuals that make a little bit more income. They're over 80% of the AMI. And so we closed 11 of those, and then we had 6 shine.
Ms. Chair, Shine, are these old Shine applicants?
These are old shine applications. We only closed 6, but we should close the remaining this fiscal year. And so that's about 16 of them.
We're no longer accepting Shine applications.
No, sir.
Okay.
But am I reading this correctly that we spent 54,000 on 6? I thought Shine was limited to like a cap.
So, yes. And we try to limit it on the cap. When we go in to do the inspection, it was so much going on with those houses. And of course, many of them was built prior to 1978. And so we had lead-based paint involved. And so we had to remediate a lot of that, and we had to engage a lead-based paint contractor. And so generally, that does increase the prices. And it was a lot going on with some of these houses.
And so, but I think that it's important to note that we aren't just spending, what was the limit, 50,000?
I think it was 75.
Okay. But I mean, I think it's important to note because folks are like, what happened? I'm sorry. What happened to the funds?
Yeah.
But to explain why they tend to go over budget and therefore impacting the remainder of the budget. Because quick math, what is that? Well, that's still 60,000 per home.
Approximately, but we have some coming through, it's way more.
Right.
Way more. I mean, 100,000, it's amazing.
And we decide to do them. Just asking.
So we
And so how
can't,
much
we
money
can't
do you
move
have left for
forward.
it? How much money do you have left for it?
How much money we have left for it?
Yeah, for the 16 applications.
I have to go back and get that because the numbers have came in so much more. We had to pull more from our program income to support it.
Okay.
So we can't go in and do a portion of the repairs. We have to complete it all. Addressing all the code issues and things of that nature.
It would be great if we had general fund program income that could help with that, but I understand.
Yeah. We do use, our general fund income to support our City Lender 2 program.
I see,
Yeah.
I see it up there.
All right. Okay, so I want to share with you our partners, our subrecipients that we've worked with for a number of years, and the dollar amount that was allocated to support them with their services. Fast forward, we allocated $28,000, which is a long-standing partner of ours. Mercy, which is another long-standing partner, we have provided them $100,000 to assist, and they help a little over 1,000 individuals. And of course, we allocated $15,000 for the Salvation Army. They have partnered with the Rapid Shelter to assist them with providing meals to the recipients down there. And of course, we've allocated to Midlands Housing Alliance 69, almost $70,000 to assist with the individuals there.
And I cannot remember offhand, with the numbers, are we doing pretty much the same thing for the next year?
So, fast forward, I know, I can't remember all the subrecipients, I have to turn to my team.
Microphone maybe?
Can you come to the microphone?
Come to the microphone.
Yes, so you could be officially on the record.
It won't bite you.
I don't know.
Hey,
I have
voice.
Yeah, she,
I have a sore throat, so
So
anyway.
you're talking smaller than
I'm talking
normal?
smaller than normal. Yes, so with Fast Forward was reduced. Actually, Fast Forward was awarded in the current, in '24, they were awarded 50,000, they only spent 28. So they were awarded this year, I believe 25,000.
Okay.
Mercy, they are awarded 35,000 this year. And we did not fund Salvation Army, but we are funding the Homeless Services Department. Okay, City of Columbia Homeless Services Department. And then Midlands Housing Alliance is being funded. They are not being funded this year. They are not funded, but we did fund for public services, we did fund PALS, and they're at about 15,000.
Okay. Thank you. I know that we're steadily improving our services to unsheltered folks and trying to find exactly what's gonna work. So that's why I was just curious about those numbers. Mr. Brennan, did you have any questions?
okay, just to touch on our Parks and Rec, they are a department that we work with for a number of years. And so we constantly assisting them with their parks improvements initiatives. And so these are the parks locations where we have allocated CDBG dollars. We've also added the Drew with the CDBG CV funds. And then some other parks that we've allocated $715,000 with the improvements of their bathrooms. So I do want to hone in on Randall Park. I don't know if you all had the opportunity to kind of go out there and look at it. It's beautiful.
I go there often.
Yeah, they've done a wonderful job out there. So when those homes comes out there, it's gonna look amazing
Mm-hmm.
in that area. And so we have allocated some funds to assist with the street lighting over at Edisto. Homes of Hope actually built some units over there. I think they were completed back in '22. So once those homes were completed, we realized there weren't any lighting in that community. So we was able to identify some additional funds and work with our Public Works to install some lighting out there. So we're excited about that.
And how many light poles? I'm surprised, well, not surprised, but I always like to highlight how much that costs. Is that a couple of light poles
That
or
was 15.
15 of the regular light poles? Okay. Oh, that's good. That's not too bad. Okay.
So yeah, we've lit it up out there. Okay, so remember our home investment partnership dollars? I mentioned that there was two projects that we have awarded. TN Development Corporation, where they're constructing 9 single-family homes for affordable housing, home ownership. So we allocated $1.2 million towards that project, and of course, Homeless No More. Whereas they actually is constructing 24 units as a part of their project, but we're only funding 5 of those units. Okay.
And these are already projects in the works for Homeless No More and TN or?
Homeless No More, I would say is in the works, but they're really just getting started.
And then TN, y'all have started?
Okay.
And you think you'll be able to build all 9 for 2.1? That's pretty good. That's good.
Okay, so for our HOPWA, if you notice that we just do not invest our HOPWA dollars in Richland County. We do support 6 different counties. So Calhoun, Fairfield, Kershaw, Lexington, of course, Richland, and Saluda. So we expended a little over $2 million to provide services for individuals in those various counties. that's gonna pretty much wrap the paper up. Presentation. Any questions or concerns?
Very informative. Is there anything that we have to do for this process to be complete?
So, we're required to submit the paper at the end of the month. 29th. And so we want to ensure that we present this information to you all. You can certainly make a decision whether we need to present it to the entire council.
But you won't have time to do that before the 29th.
No, ma'am.
That's the decision.
That's the decision, yes.
That is,
So
is it,
It's
but is,
not
are you saying
required.
it? Okay, that's what I was about
it's
to
not
say.
required.
Yes, that's the decision. The calendar has made that decision.
The county's made that decision, okay.
Is anybody want to overrule me on that one? Okay. It's kind of hot. Okay. So does that mean we need to take any action since if it doesn't go to full council? I just need to know what you need me to do.
It doesn't take any action.
Okay. Cool. Yes,
One thing,
Mr. Palin.
paper though is,
Mr. Palin, come on up.
I'll be coming up in a second anyhow, so it's really showing the past. So it's not gonna be changes, so if you would like it to be still go to full council, it can even after the date. Because that's not really gonna change any of the numbers or anything.
I think it's good information, and I do think
is.
that, I think all of council, needs to, maybe, I don't know, well, $30, that's not too bad. But I think that, all of council does kind of need
Do we
to
have a
know
work
because
session at all?
we have so many different things going
I think
on,
the
especially
second, the
with
first meeting is
regards to
typically-
housing,
Let me
so.
look, see if there's one.
I was kind of wondering if maybe in a future work session that we show it,
Mhm.
because it would fit in nicely with a lot of the other housing things.
Right,
that
and
we're
I think
doing.
that's having our flow, I used to like the flow chart stuff, who's on first, this area we're working on, this is the area they're working on, I think that helps, but it's very, very informative,
I don't
and
see,
so.
I don't see a work session scheduled currently, but certainly this is good civic engagement and awareness of
Mhm.
information that's not usually widely shared.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be anytime in the immediate future.
People don't tend to run to the community development public hearings.
That's correct, that's
I-
correct, yeah. They
I
don't.
have done a few of them over the years. They're interested, but they don't necessarily run to those hearings. So unless y'all need anything else with us, great report.
I wanna mention one more thing, Councilwoman Tina Herbert. So the numbers may change a little bit because we're still,
Reconciling?
yes, and so, we have a few more days, particularly as it relates to, HAPA. But I just want to share that with you, that they may change just a little bit in regards to, the final document, that we submit to HUD.
And we want the final document to be right.
Absolutely.
And so if it needs adjustments,
Yes, so we're working with finance as well,
Okay.
to, fine tune those numbers and finalize them, so I just wanna share that with you.
no problem. We want not perfect, but we want an A+. So we want it to be as accurate as possible.
And I want to, make sure you're aware of the compliance staff that assist us tremendously in regards to managing, these funds and make sure that we stay in a good graces of HUD.
Thank you, y'all. Thank you, y'all. Thank you to the entire department. All right, so,
Approve the submit?
Just need to be able to
I'm saying that we.
say that they need to.
oh, you need a motion? Is there a motion, to approve the presentation of the CAPER for 24-25 that we've discussed today, understanding that there may be a few numerical adjustments for accounting purposes?
So moved. Second.
And all in favor? Yes? We don't have a clerk. So, we have a unanimous vote. Unanimous vote, in support of submitting said report. And I'm glad.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you say.
All right, so next we have, update number 3, update on city-owned vacant residential lots, Mr. Jeff Palin and Miss Felicia Kilgore.
So in your packet, we put together a list. This is most of our residential properties that the city has. There's just a small handful that CEZ has. And then there are parcels on there that TN Development has as well. So there's a total on this list of 68 lots.
Is that this single page?
This will be the single page, this one right here. And this lists all of them with the address. And we're tracking all this through our GIS department. We'll start updating it as changes occur. And I've included with it, there's 4 different maps for the different areas, so that you can actually look at the maps and see where each of these properties are at.
4 different maps.
It's on your next.
Oh,
So you'll have the 5 Points area, North Main, Monticello, and Two Notch Road. We had one big map that had it all, but it's so small you wouldn't be able to read it. So we broke it out. What I also don't have on here, there are currently 9 properties that TN has, but it's part of their phase 1. And several of y'all have been at their groundbreaking. Of those, 5 homes right now are almost completed. Is it 5 or 6? It's 5.
we want credit for.
Yeah, I know. I've thought about it after the fact that we should, because since I haven't sold, the next time we update this, I'm gonna add those 9 lots. So we'll start marking maybe with like a big giant red star when these parcels start moving along. So most of these parcels will be utilizing with the housing program that we spoke to y'all here over the last month or so.
And so
Mr. Chair, and this may be a dumb question. Are any of these properties on the Monticello Road vicinity not in the city?
I believe each and every single one of these are in the city, but if you see one that looks odd, let me know and we'll get Sung Jun to pull that up. Or I can just go to the Richland County's map as well.
Because I think it goes that Grace Church is still within the city limits, right?
A lot of Ridgewood, that cutout of Ridgewood's in the county, a lot of that Ridgewood area. Yeah.
It is.
So they actually had 3 lots that were on this list. I haven't been fully able to identify why it is on our list, so I have to look at the history of those. So I've actually pulled those 3 off.
Okay.
Because it doesn't list the city as the owner. But at some point, it appears the city had ownership in those, either that or one of the development corporations. So I'm looking into those. I think there's 3 of them.
Okay.
And then the earlier ones, the 9 that were funded, are those on this list?
They're not on.
That's the same
This
that you
morning,
talked
though,
about.
that's the ones I was talking about. I think I'm gonna add them back on, because while we're building on them, we haven't actually sold them yet, so we should include them on here. I will add, of the TN lots, there's another number of these that they plan to use for their phase 2 after they complete these 9. And then also on that list, there's 5 lots that when Missy Gentry was here, she had discussed with TN about the city utilizing those lots in some sort of a program as well.
And I think that's kind of like what we want to get, because I thought Mr. Taylor had a great idea of this 5-year real estate plan, and at least for the residential side. I like to see the end game is that we get all of the properties activated. And so if we could, one more layer for me, I guess would be plans or no plans, or, you know, like,
Yep. So that's a good
you already
point.
got that?
So it's not on here because I didn't know how much information. I've got a bunch of hidden columns, or this thing could stretch out like this.
Okay,
You know, we have looked at each one of these lots. We know every elementary, middle school, and high school that's in the attendance zone for those. We know, I might have included district numbers on there. I did. So it's got the council districts. I've got a whole thing that has a notes on it because some of these properties were, NIP money and NSP money were utilized with them. So I have all those marked up. So ultimately, and then I just have a notes page that will put kind of, I'll say it'll be what the plan is for each one of those. That's kind of what I talked about. TN has a plan for phase 2 on several of these.
yeah.
The city has interest in 5 of them that they met last year with their board. And then through our housing plan that we're working on, that incorporates about 60 of these lots. So I can update all this and it'll just be much bigger. I was trying to condense it just so that y'all could see, and I didn't know where the discussion was gonna go. But we're tracking all that. Ultimately, we'll just say we're gonna put a big red star on the map every time we move one of these. So several years from now, I hope to see all red stars and very few of the others.
I think, and that's
check
more or less, just
For
to
a green
watch
check,
our
for a green check.
progress, you know, to watch the progress that we made. And we haven't really started, so I would say anything that has moved in the last, since 2023, 2024, we want to see this progress that this, generation of council. We have a plan and how we activate it.
I'm in a different generation.
So we can add,
You are not in a different generation.
I can go back. We have a handful of parcels that have come off the list. You know, I know Height Street, they now have a house on it that is occupied, so that would become a red or a gold or a green star. TN's 9 properties as they go, we can be adding those. And there was at least, I feel like I've seen 2 or 3 others just in the last year or two. So we keep, and I should remind everyone, this is just really what we've identified more as residential. And there's a handful on here that I really want to look at a little closer if it's really residential and can be utilized, but that's very few of them.
The only other
We
thing-
do have as a city, in case anyone asks, we have a list of 758 properties, but that includes all of our easements, water and sewer, stormwater, place, all of that. So we pull that out.
They're not all
to come-
usable.
Right, because they're not all usable. So that's what we come down to. And then also what is not on here is we have roughly, I can't think of what the number is, but it's, and I know we've shown it in past meetings, but we have our commercial lots. So that would be like Washington Square, that's up for sale right now. So I don't have commercial lots on here.
That's for
However,
economic development.
but
I'll let them handle
that is something that we can also include as well in the future. Because realistically, some of those commercial lots could end up becoming housing.
Okay. I think, yeah, to me, this is more showing the progress. And I don't, Mr. Brennan, were you on the committee when it was a joint committee and Mr. Taylor talked about having that 5-year strategy? That really resonated with me. And so, and I think we'll end up having a very good story to tell if we keep track of, you know, we can say at the end of the story. The only other thing I would probably want to know is if they're vacant lots or some of them maybe just,
Almost every one of these are vacant. There's a handful that, and I was thinking about it yesterday. Because I actually took 2 or 3 off because they had facilities on there. I'm not sure how they got on the list to begin with. So I do not believe, especially if you see one that reads 4,000, that's definitely just the land.
Yeah.
And those values are
okay.
that's just gonna be the land value. So those are values that came from the county assessor during reassessment this past year.
Okay. Well, things, and I see, I'm not gonna say anything. This is good. I like having a starting point and seeing the progress and the strategy. And just making sure we're making progress.
How many properties to begin?
There's 68 on here,
68.
but that'll fluctuate.
Do y'all need any ideas for any of these properties? But no, so,
We have a lot of interest in a lot of these properties right now. We're finalizing a process with the manager and staff and outside and with banks on building on these and getting people into a combination of employees and our citizens for home ownership.
So, and there are a lot of good stories. One good story on here, I just happened to know, I didn't realize it was in my neighborhood, but Cab Island in the Columbia College Drive. Did any of y'all see that building, the house that was there? Okay, well, so that house has been there. My dad used to live a few doors down. And I ended up knowing the new owner, and I really did tell her it's the worst house on the street. You know, it was very big, very thrown together, maybe every 10 years adding stuff. We ended up purchasing, not under me, but at some point we ended up purchasing it and demolishing it. And to me, that's a really good story because that was a monstrosity. And I say monstrosity with love. One of our old churches.
Yes, I did.
So I say it in love because
I
I,
knew who
you
you
know.
were talking about, yes.
Yeah, it was an atrocity. So thank you, Jeff. This is really good. And this helps us tell our story so we can show what we've done. I'm excited.
We are as well. I feel like we've had discussions for years about the various lots. Now we've kind of consolidated a lot of these. We've identified them and now we've been able to find programs to actually do, because that's the hardest part.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, partner banks are a plus in this situation, so
I'm excited. Great job.
thank you.
Any questions from any of my fellow councilmen? All right, and then next we have number 4, establish a process to support state low-income housing tax credit projects. Ms. Felicia Kilgore and Mr. Jeff Taylor,
Well,
or Ms. Felicia?
Felicia. I'll just start by saying, kind of a history on these projects. So Missy Gentry came to y'all as a council probably 2018 or so. I think we had a discussion, because we had very few of these projects out there. We'd get maybe one a year, and then if they even materialized, you know, everyone says they're gonna do, we all know, everyone plans a project, they don't all make it through. So one or two have made it through historically. However, we're getting more requests now.
We are.
So we're probably getting 2 or 3 a year.
If not more.
And so I think it's important, because these could be sizable resources that we would be supporting the projects with. And also, they're gonna be in your districts, so y'all need to be aware. You know, I don't want a project to go up that you just find out about, and then you find out, by the way, we supported that project with X amount of dollars, or maybe it was through our utilities support, or maybe it was just a direct letter of support. But we wanted to talk through on how, we've got some thoughts on how we move forward
Yes.
when these come to us, and we want to make sure y'all are informed, and we want to kind of talk through that process.
So I've outlined, on the very first page, when a developer contact us, requesting for city support, to develop, create some new, either workforce housing is what they many times calls it. I've heard it called middle income housing, or standard affordable housing. And when I hear affordable housing, they're generally referencing the LIHTC, projects. And so part of state housing requirement is to seek local municipality support. And so that's when they reach out to the city for support. Not only from a standard support letter saying that we're in favor of the project, but also many times for financial assistance.
So let's put a pin right there. I do think that we need to start not insisting, but I think we get a letter, it's signed off on, we may or may not really know a whole lot about these projects. So recently I had them to come back and explain the project after we had signed the letter. I do think whenever possible, I don't know how that timeline works, but we need to hear about just let them describe the project ahead of time. But again, I don't know if the timeline allows it.
So let me add to that, because I completely agree. This is kind of what we've been talking about. It's frustrating when they show up and say, hey, I'm going to the state next week.
Yeah.
I need your city manager to sign this letter. Well, I'm sorry. You
Exactly.
know,
Right.
maybe you should have gotten it to us a little sooner. So that's why we want to have this discussion, start talking about, look,
And so those projects.
if they're
would
going to
fall
come to your
within this.
committee, I'm fine with that. I mean, these are $1 million
They are.
developments that they didn't just start yesterday. So if they really want support from the city, then they need to come and do what they need to do allow us to do our due diligence with them. So after we've discussed how we want to do this going forward, then we'll make sure we have the rules laid out there. So if someone comes and asks staff that I want support, and say, well, here's our process. And inevitably, someone's going to go, oh, well, I need this next week. Well, too bad, so sad. We'll have to move on, or
Not
depending on the
our-
project, you know, we sometimes make an exception. But if we can lay the ground rules, right now, we don't really have them, so people just show up.
And for state housing, they take applications once a year, twice a year?
Once a year.
I mean, so it's just so standard. Everyone knows. So
Yeah.
there shouldn't be this big, oh my goodness. I think the only thing would be letting folks know that we do have a process.
Yes.
But okay.
And I do think also sometimes, one of the ones that came kind of late, I can't remember for sure, but I think one of their funding sources went away with some of the changes that have been going on in housing through, maybe it was a federal source of funding of some sort. That is kind of what precipitated them coming to us. They either
At the
asked for
last minute.
more or they needed it. It was kind of at the last minute.
Does the state also not require the applicants to get the letters of support?
They have to have a letter.
Right, so
Do they
so
need the letter, or does it give them more points in the
They have to
the
have
scoring?
documentation that they have the support.
So it's, so
We
that's,
gotta vote on it.
Right.
We vote on them at city council.
No, we have not before. That's why we want to have this discussion.
Well, we voted on some of the support, well, at least for housing authority, when they've sent theirs. We've had.
Yes,
we vote on
so in housing authority though, a lot of times, I'm trying to think on theirs, some of theirs have been some bond issues where we have to vote on.
There's more formalized
to
process.
authorize, that they
They
can
have
issue
some-
tax exempt bonds.
Okay, all right, just wanna make sure.
Because I feel like we get one or two of those a year. It's either them or some other, housing. I'm trying to think when we had the most recent one. It's probably been about 6 months or more.
right, they did
Well,
one
what's
this year.
interesting, I don't know who combines it. I think the state does it, but we will get a packet of, this year I got a packet of like 9 letters from different, y'all know what I'm talking about? Different applicants. I think state housing actually sent it to us, more of it as FYI.
And we have like 15 days to respond or they move forward with it, right? Those letters?
Yeah, I didn't.
That's from-
read that part. Yeah.
That may not be a letter of support, then that just may be awareness and asking
Yeah, I think
for
it
our-
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whereas this is something, that's their like completed application.
Yeah, I think that is state housing doing their due diligence to
Right.
say, we just wanna make sure you're aware,
I
yeah.
mean,
That's when I typically find out about the projects, when I get the letter from the state.
Oh, yeah, I see, you need to know way before then.
So that's why we want to talk about process.
Yeah.
But if you were getting 9, they didn't all come through community development looking for support, because we haven't had that many.
What are your thoughts on that process? Is it a presentation to the committee, or is it us going to executive session and talking about it? I mean, what do you have in mind, Madam Chair?
Just for the state house, for this process or?
The process?
We just need to update. Most of these places are nonprofits and we don't have the competitive, what's the confidentiality issues with those? Am I correct? Sometimes? No response?
Shouldn't be any
And
confidentiality.
most of the time, if they're using some kind of governmental funding, federal funding, state
So we would
funding,
need
there's some kind
executive
of,
session.
yeah.
Yeah, they could just come and present and let us know, what their project is, what it looks like. And just so, literally so we can know what it's for, who it's targeted for, size and that kind of thing. And I'm assuming a part of this, y'all will let us know how we determine the amount that's allocated. That's a part of your decision-making process. Yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
Would this funding be from city or from like the loan committee?
No. The only
So if it comes
one
from city community development, it goes to
One-
lawn committee.
worry I have is that given the state only accepts them once a year, I don't want to slow it down. that if we can't meet as a committee, that the projects can't get through.
Right, and I guess what I'm saying is, it's the same deadline every year. So if we let folks know,
In theory, but they
yeah,
didn't read it, and then next thing you know, it's 1 week and we can't meet, and then
So we can post on the website just the process for it, and then realistically, if we know the dates at the state, we could just plan for the committee meetings leading up to that date, that if someone has a project, that's when we'll hear it.
and they don't have to wait till the application deadline. Honestly, come as soon as you know you need city dollars, they should come.
And it's not always city dollars. We've done others, I think, with,
Rebates on water and tap fees,
Okay.
as another incentive.
We need to get some kind of credit.
that's exciting.
Yeah, anything we can get credit.
And some of them we haven't done as just an outright grant. Haven't we done some as loans where they'll
So we have
repay?
two that we have set to provide loans to. And so we have funds set aside, to utilize our general funds to support two of the projects, and one of them is the Bull Street project, with Conley Builders.
He's finished, right?
It's finished,
Okay.
and their ribbon cutting ceremony is coming up very soon.
What type of housing is that?
Sly Tech.
Light Tech,
There is affordable housing on Bull Street. No, let me correct that. There will be low-income housing through LIHTC at Bull Street. Just making sure, you wrote that down? Okay.
It's a good point, though. I mean,
It's a very good
Oh, I'm saying it for a reason.
Yes.
Folks, Anyway, I think that's a great project.
it
So
is.
as well.
I will let, unless y'all have any questions, I'll let y'all finish with how we're gonna do this. What this is gonna look like.
okay. So, but generally, we'll ask for a lot of information up front, Councilwoman, and to know exactly what they're looking at building, how many sites, or how many units, where it's located, we verify that it's in the city. We ask for a, copy of the plans, so whatever we can possibly get to kind of know what they're seeking and to actually build. And so we'll prepare a nice package. And if we have funds available, because everything's based on availability of funds, we will certainly present it to our loan committee, share the same information that we've collected, also ask for financials, all those sorts of things.
And I think, because we want to stay out of those decisions, am I correct? We just want to know
Want the
about the
final.
projects, yeah.
And so,
Because there's always a mechanism. Do you have an identified funding source, or is it just kind of depend what's available?
well, generally, just so you know how these projects work, if they submit the application today, it may be 2 years before they're ready to actually move forward. And so, we ask that if they're awarded, to come back to us so we can talk about funding and what that looks like and the timeline. Because, our funding here at the city, of course, we can support, these types of projects with CDBG dollars, to help with infrastructure expenses. But we also have to plan that because we have a timeliness deadline that we must meet in regards to expenditures.
So
And
do
so-
we wait to approve after they have definitely gotten funded through, like lined up their other funding sources? Or do we approve when the application comes in and we hold anticipating the stars line up and then we can allocate? I'm just asking.
So it's my suggestion, that we, we provide a support letter, like we are in agreement.
Okay.
You all like the project is feasible. We notify you all in terms of what district it's in, how many units, those sorts of things. And then I would recommend we come back to you again, to kind of outline the funding source, to let you know, that this project is moving forward.
But y'all
But
decide.
we would come back after they got approved by the state, though, right?
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
after
So that could be 2 years later.
it could be 2 years later.
Because in
they
our
receive their
support
award.
letter, if I remember, now that y'all are asking us questions, I feel like we say if there's available funding. I don't think we guarantee the funding in the support letter.
That's what I was,
Because we
I was
don't know
wondering
for
how long we
sure,
were holding
if it
on
takes
by.
them a couple
Yes.
of years to get approved, we can't just set it aside because we'll be stuck and we'll never meet
Correct.
timeliness.
So we don't discuss funding options until they've lined up their funding to do the project, the otherwise needed funding,
Correct.
or state.
Yeah, they'll ask for the amount of funding, which we can recognize, but how we fund it and when could come up several years later.
I just wanted to make sure we weren't like holding money for years.
Oh, no.
No, we're not.
hoping that-
We had one that came back to us this past year,
Yes, we
and
did.
it was from how many years ago? And it was a scramble to try to figure out how to,
5
How
years
to
ago.
adjust it, how
to
to
make the
record it,
payment,
how to
yeah.
record it.
Yeah.
Yes,
And it was one that we had discussed, I think, before COVID, maybe?
it was.
That was probably one of the few that we had back then.
So y'all get any neighborhood feedback, input? You know, market rate stuff, we always send them to neighborhood associations for comment. I know that there was a couple projects
I think
that,
I have that as one of my,
Required.
yep.
And I also kind of wonder if the state requires that, but I don't know. They may not require it.
even like
That
a
was part of the reason why we wanted
presentation to CCN or something.
to make y'all aware as well.
I think that would be a good partnership with CCN. Is that fine with, but I mean, do y'all say, like, that could be a special thing that is theirs and adds value to,
Well, and grow connectivity to those neighborhoods that
you don't like that?
aren't organized.
Offline.
Yeah. And you have, I've had, so for instance, I've had properties that are on North Main Street, but they're on the Belmont side, but I mean, College Place is right there. And so I think that you need to talk to both neighborhoods.
So
if you
would it
use
be
CCN.
possible, if we're doing it more for an awareness thing, would it be possible to invite those neighborhoods when
To
they
the
present
council
to
meeting.
y'all
Yeah, we
for the
can do that
committee,
too.
invite them
Yeah.
at that point?
Because otherwise that could add.
Because if they
that
do
could
have
be
issues, I am
time.
sure they'll let you know 5 minutes after the committee
Right.
meeting.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
true.
if their schedules aren't lining up too, that could just
Yeah.
add to the project schedule.
Well, I guess every case, every development's different, because I mean, if you're coming to get your letter of support a week before you're going to land use board, then that's a problem in our eyes as elected officials and neighborhood, representatives. But this process is way before the whole land use board. This is very, very, very pre-development status, wouldn't you think?
Yes, sir.
Yes, because they haven't gotten anything from the state at all this.
So they haven't done
And the state,
drawings
how long does it
and,
take the state to make a determination after they get all their applications?
Oh, gosh, 6, if not more months.
Well, then you indicate they have to coordination with other departments to at least review the concept of the
plans.
project. Of course, that's not gonna be full-on approval, but at least it's some kind of, something glaring that could stand out. And
yeah,
this,
and I think that y'all call that the pre-development meeting now, which I think a lot of people are taking staff up on, very helpful.
Yeah, well, this will probably be way before they even get to the pre-development meeting.
Gotcha.
I like it. Well, I like working out the structure, and as I always say, we implement, and we're probably gonna say we need to make some adjustments, but at least it's a starting point.
Because we don't want to make it overburdensome as well
on staff or the,
on both, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Or council.
the majority of the time, these will be good projects, so we don't want to make it impossible for them to do it either. And we want to support them as long as y'all want to support them. That, my greatest fear is we support a project that then y'all are like, oh, well, this is the first I've heard about it. It's not really an appropriate project, and then we're kind of like, oh.
And I think like to the extent possible, all of these, all the applications ask for the same information. So instead, like this part where, what the request includes, if they just put their state application in because the state application
I was
addresses
gonna say,
all
most
that.
of this should be stuff that would be a part of their state application already.
Yeah, whatever, to me, that just makes it easier. Just give us what you've given them. And also make sure we know what they're giving them. No, 'cause make sure we're getting the same information. So, I like this. Mr. Palin, I know that this was really tugging at you. And I am glad that we have started working on this process. Anybody? Now, Mr. Bailey, you had one concern about,
No concerns. No concerns.
We've discussed them and they've been
addressed.
addressed. Y'all have anything else for us? Anything you need us to do? Have we asked enough questions that help?
Yes, yes.
So this then become part of the loan committee bylaws or process too?
It would be.
Because remember, we are not approving funding.
Right, so loan
Right,
committee
well,
will still
You
approve
have it
it.
on there as request for funding is presented to council for approval of funding, so that's the only one that gets me. If the committee's, loan committee's.
Yeah,
also-
we were talking about that. That's.
This is the one that makes.
And based upon this conversation, maybe
applicable,
it doesn't.
Maybe
There
if
could be a
applicable.
weird situation that does, but if the home loan committee, I think it's more important for them to be able to see it and be aware, and if there's concerns, to raise it at that point when they come in.
This just could probably be adjusted to say if applicable, because if it's something other than like a direct funding allocation, like a waiver of some other kind of
Yes.
consideration,
Yeah,
that the
if
loan committee would not be approved.
Quick question to my fellow committee members. Is there a threshold monetarily that you would want us to at least know this entity has been funded? Is it 300,000? Is like a certain amount that we do want to know about? And it doesn't mean it has to be like a big old thing, but just an update. Or do we want to not touch it at all?
Well, I think when we bring it to you, we're gonna let you know what the,
The ask?
what the ask is and what the funding is. Because we won't bring it to you if we don't think we're gonna have it.
Correct.
But y'all are good with staying out of the process,
Yeah.
because there's a process in place. Okay. Any other questions? Ms. Kaufman?
Yes, no, ma'am.
No other,
No other,
questions? Process questions?
Hearts and minds are
Here. So thank y'all. This has been very, very informative. Is this our last meeting for the year, Ms. Moore? Maybe not.
We'll meet again in October.
Okay. Okay.
I gotta go upstairs for a meeting. Thanks, Sean.
Thank y'all so much.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Thank you very much, ma'am. This
And
is
we
great.
are
I'm
adjourned.
gonna share,